Attack of the Clones is the second installment in the prequel trilogy of the Star Wars Skywalker saga. And by many, it is considered the worst of the three movies, or maybe even of the 6 movies. But that's completely not the case for me. And please don't be hateful in the comments if you disagree. Always disagree respectfully, that's what I always do. But Attack of the Clones is, no joking, my favorite movie of all of them. It just has this very feel to it that is really, really impressive. I can't say it in one sentence. We need to go through the whole movie, so why are we wasting our time? Let me start. So the movie starts out with, of course, the opening crawl, and after that we cut to Senator Amidala's ship arriving to Coruscant. Once again, Coruscant looks great, just once again, sets, CGI, everything's great. And it turns out that the senator on the ship is a decoy to the real Senator Amidala, aka Padme, who was flying in another ship supporting the big ship on which the decoy came. So basically the ship explodes because someone tried to assassinate her. The decoy dies. However, Senator Amidala is like really, really sad. And basically, yeah. But then my favorite scene of the movie starts. We see Palpatine speaking with the Jedi. Oh my god. There's just something to that is so incredible, because we know Palpatine is the Dark Lord. He's the mastermind behind all those terrible events, all those wars and everything. But just seeing him and the peacekeepers who are supposed to sort of, with them not knowing that he is behind all this, just how they are sitting in front of each other and peacefully talking without even understanding who they are really talking to, and how the discussion goes with Palpatine just, Master Yoda, do you really think it will come to war? And he's like, the dark side clouds everything. Just like, it's ironic, just really ironic how it's sort of, how it's executed, the scene. But after that, the Loyalist Committee, led by Senator Amidala, arrives, and we see lots of senators in the backgrounds, different species. We see Masamida, Sly Moore, lots of other senator characters, along with Bail Organa, and what I think this movie does really well is just put all those cool, just Return of the Jedi and Jabba's Palace and the New Hope and the Cantina also really did it, but here it's really more like that, putting all those senators, aliens in the background as if they exist in this world, but not giving them any true purpose, just filling it in to make the galaxy more real. That's what I absolutely love about these movies, and how George Lucas crafts them. And even in the Disney ones, sometimes that happens, although I prefer George Lucas's handling of it. But basically, Palpatine, played by Ian McDiarmid perfectly, just still love his portrayal. He's like my favorite actor. He convinces Senator Amidala to be guarded by 2 Jedi Knights, who conveniently turn out to be Obi-Wan Kenobi and his grown-up Padawan Anakin from the last movie, played by K. Hayden Christensen, and for me, he does a good job. He's not the best, but I don't hate him as other people do. And basically, after that, they become her basically guards. And of course, we know at the end that it is all leading up to Palpatine's ultimate plan. And after that, we see a scene of Jango talking to Zam Wessel, of Jango Fett, the bounty hunter. And he's like, sort of, I love how we get this perspective of the villains planning to assassinate the senator, and just how we see it. And after that, we have one great scene with very good tension. Like, people don't give the movie enough credit, especially that scene of how much tension it has. When the droid is putting the creatures, like I forgot the name, the worm centipedes guys, into the room to assassinate Amidala, and how they're just creeping and all that eerie atmosphere, just how the build up, the tension, the just how R2 never notices anything, the sound effects, the music, all is done perfectly and really gets on your nerves. So after that, the Jedi finally save Padme, and basically Obi-Wan jumps out of the window and onto the probe, who he believes is going to return to the Zam, which actually does happen. After that, we of course have this great speeder chase, starting with Obi-Wan flying towards Zam, her shooting him falling into Anakin, who conveniently just found him on a speeder, falling into the speeder, then their speeder chasing Zam's speeder, all the twists and turns, all the and the special effects. Ireland did such a good job here. It's like every frame has so much good CGI, just so much detail, so much color, so much. Oh my God! Why doesn't this movie get praise for that and for how incredible it is? But basically, they go into this bar where we see a couple of cameos, a link to another video covering that will be in the description. And after that, we once again have those board games, like those electronic games on the walls of the bar, which of course adds to the realism of this galaxy, really shows how it's almost like ours. And after that, we see, Zam wants to attack Obi-Wan. However, he cuts her, like arm off, I think, and they bring her. Now, the death stick scene is of course great, but I think it's mentioned far too much, so to be honest, I want to go on, so maybe I'll mention it later, but so they interrogate her, and just how Django shoots her, this was so unexpected, and I think this was a very good idea. Of course, it turns out that she's Claudite, like a changeling, and that idea wasn't for me the best. But then Anakin is given his first assignment to sort of go with Padme away on Naboo so that he can protect her. But of course, we know he's secretly in love with her, and he loves her. They're not in love yet together, but they both know they love each other. And the Jedi Council once again states that you can't love in the Jedi Council, which I think is a pretty good idea. I mean, it's all those councils have rules. I don't know why you just can't. Some people can't expect it. I think it's a very good idea, and yeah, and after that, he speaks to Palpatine. Now, when I first watched it, I completely forgot how Palpatine was manipulating Anakin to join to the dark side, even in this movie. I thought it started in the third, but now that I rewatched the second, I was absolutely shocked because I didn't remember that scene. But here we can see he started manipulating him, just like even before that. Just how much he has been leading up to this. Palpatine has created so much doubt in Anakin. I think. Okay, it's for the Revenge of the Sith review, why I think it's a good idea that Anakin joined the dark side. But right now we're talking about this. And after that, Obi-Wan goes to discover where this basically poisonous dart that Jango Fett shot Zam Wesell with came from, because he believes it will lead him to the one who is truly behind all this, like who wants her murder. And he basically gives it to his friend Dexter Jester, and once again the background, the creatures like the dog species and other are great. Like they feel this galaxy, which is something one nobody. But after that, he identifies it from the system of Camino and gives us the exposition that they make clones there. So eventually he wants to reach this planet and goes to the Jedi archives, but Jocasta Nu, the character, although she's a very nice lady, obviously, I just absolutely hate how she just says this line. It's just, oh my god, it's so like, I don't know why you want to hit her in the face in that scene. And after that, Obi-Wan goes to Yoda and Yoda decides to meditate on it, and Yoda says that someone must have erased the the planet from the archives. But he, however, finds around what place it is. So while Anakin and Padme have a romance, and I actually really like it, especially with the John Williams Across the Stars theme playing, which is truly beautiful. While they're flirting and stuff like that, Obi-Wan is going to Camino, where he finds out that the Kaminoans, which is a design that is pretty interesting, however, I really don't like it. I think it's a classic sort of alien design, which I don't really think fits in Star Wars. It's just too normal, I'd say. But basically, he discovers that from the Prime Minister Lama Su, and I have to say the Camino facilities, like inside with the white everything, although sometimes it looks really fake, it's still very beautiful and a very futuristic design, which I enjoy. And I also really like how outside we can see all those storms on Camino and stuff like that. That's great. And basically after that, Padme and Anakin arrive on Naboo, where they have a speak with the new queen, Queen Jamilia. And after that, they go to the lake, and there they'll basically arrive at this place where they will live, like this villa, and they share their first kiss. First, it's the sand line, the infamous sand line, which I think was Anakin's very flirty way, but I have to say it's a bit of a sort of sandy dialogue, just not sugary, sandy, salty. Well, and after that, their first kiss, however, Padme understands that it just can't go like that, and she stops him. After that, of course, we see how Obi-Wan is basically, he finds out that this clone army was being made by the order of Jedi Master Sifo Dyas, and he starts checking it out with the Kaminoans, making him this little tour, and just how much background, just how the clones are being trained, fed, everything, just the pure scale of these facilities. It's once again George Lucas and his crew really worked well on it. And after that, it turns out that they were made after Jango Fett, who is of course one of the villains in this film and who is responsible for Senator Amidala's attempts on murder. And Obi-Wan understands that that's probably him, and he goes to his basically room, while Padme and Anakin have on Camino. Well, Anakin and Padme have this sort of picnic in the grasslands of Naboo, in the fields. They have some very cool and interesting dialogue. Like you can see that these are just two a couple. They really belong to each other. Continued in part 2.